that it's not about you. It's about the young, vulnerable, impressionable, naive kids that are listening to your fucking irresponsible message and taking that shit to heart. Like me, when I was 13 years old, trying to eat your stupid 1,600 calorie a day diet.
Now this is an amazing testimonial. This is a video from Lily from Legit Nutrition Hawaii. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Lily.
So with all of this stuff going on between Freely the Banana Girl and Cassie from Blogilates, I thought it was important to do my favorite thing in the world, which is cutting through the bullshit. I can sit here and say that Freely's right and Cassie's wrong and Cassie's bitch and blah blah blah, but that would be really missing the point. So I'm not sure that I've ever actually told the full story of how I found this lifestyle and the state that I was in before I found it. So if everyone will just gather around close for story time, get your pillows and blankets, whatever makes you comfortable, we will go back 7 years to when Lily was 20. I was living in New Zealand. I had a great job working as a produce manager at a local organic health food store. I lived in a cute little flat with 2 awesome roommates. Things were going well, except that 2 years previously, I had finally been diagnosed as hypothyroid. I say finally because since I was 12 or 13, something had just been wrong with me. And I think that the thing that was wrong with me was that when I was 12, I realized that I was pudgy. Now this was humiliating and mortifying for me at that age, so I started reading things like Shape Magazine, Fitness Magazine, and I started changing my diet. And what all of those resources told me to do was to drastically cut the amount of calories that I was eating and exercise more. So that's what I did. From 12 years old, I decided that 1,200 calories a day was what I should be eating. And that was when I started the cycle of restricting my calories. I'd lose a little bit of weight, I'd feel encouraged, and then I would lose my willpower, binge, hate myself, gain weight, hate myself more, and then just keep going back and forth on this cycle of severe restriction and binging and eventually purging. And so when I was around 15, I started having symptoms like constant fatigue. I started having really bad hypoglycemia, although I had no idea what it was at the time. I just thought I was lazy. And I started sinking into a really deep depression, which had other causes as well, don't get me wrong, but I know now that a big part of that was that my brain didn't have what it needed to function. So fast forward to age 20, I was 2 years into my hypothyroid diagnosis, and because the doctors had told me, oh, just take this pill for the rest of your life, I decided to go see a naturopath to see if they could help me out anymore. At this time in my life, I would wake up in the morning absolutely exhausted. I would take my pills, my thyroid hormones, my DHEA, my hydrocortisone, my estrogen, my progesterone, my selenium, my zinc, my vitamin A, my vitamin D3, and my iodine to support my thyroid health. At this point as well, she had told me to go on a calorie-restricted diet, and she had also told me to go on a very high-protein diet, which, as we know now, high protein pretty much equals high fat. And so for breakfast, which I would push back as far as I possibly could so that I could save calories and also save myself from starting the awful hypoglycemia roller coaster early in the day, I would have like 2 eggs. I was allowed like 1 green apple a day. So I would eat this meal and then 2 hours later feel horrible, so I'd have to eat again, and then 2 hours later I'd feel horrible, and then I would have to eat again, and 2 hours later I would feel horrible. So there was this constant push and pull between, Lily, don't eat these calories, you shouldn't be eating this many calories, and oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna faint if I don't eat. And then I would manage to do this like gross, low carbohydrate, low calorie diet for so long until I would just get too hungry and too frustrated, and then I would binge, and then I would purge, and then I would hate myself. It really upsets me to even think about this time because it makes me so sad for myself and so angry. Which brings us to the night that I was 25 days into a 30-day no sugar, Candida cleanse. I wasn't even allowed to have the 1 green apple a day. It was literally no fruit. And I remember those days where I would have to go to work, and then I would always walk home from work to save on bus fare because I had no money, because I had paid all of my money to my naturopath. So I got home and I felt so hopeless and so exhausted because this stupid Candida cleanse, this low calorie, absolutely no carbohydrates, I had done everything right diet was supposed to be the thing that was gonna fix me. And I felt worse than I ever had. And I remember sitting down on my bed and looking at myself in the mirror and saying, this is it. I cannot do this anymore. And I said, 7 days, I'm giving you 7 days to find something that makes you feel better. Or I have to kill myself because I can't take this anymore. And I remember thinking about my parents and my boyfriend and how awful it was going to be for all of them to live through me doing that. And I thought about never seeing my dogs again and trying to decide like how I was going to do it so that it wouldn't hurt, and how I was going to do it so that, you know, when my roommates found me, it wasn't horribly traumatic for them. And I was thinking about how much of a relief it would finally be not to have to wake up feeling the way I felt every morning and being trapped in this body that was betraying me while my health just eroded out from under my feet when I was doing everything that I possibly could. So I knew I had 7 days, and I went to sleep, and I got up the next couple days and I went to work, and then I came home, and then I just dedicated myself to doing research as much as I could to try to find something that would put me back together again. And 3 days later, I found a video by Freely, and she was saying pretty much the opposite of everything I had ever been told. And at this point, Freely only had like maybe a dozen videos. I remember watching those and feeling hopeful, and yet at the same time apprehensive, because every other diet plan that I had ever tried had just thrown me under the bus even more. I went to work the next day, and I was a freaking produce manager, so it was perfect. And I completely changed my diet. I cut out all the fat, I cut out all the extra protein. And I remember it wasn't but 2 fucking days later of feeding my body what it needed, carbohydrates, that I felt like a new fucking person. So I kept up with it, mostly just relieved that I didn't have to fucking kill myself anymore. And 2 months into this diet, I went to go see my naturopath and told her that I went off all of the supplements and medications and that I felt great doing the exact opposite that she had told me, and she dismissed me as a client because I was non-compliant. Best thing that could have happened. So since that time, 7 years ago, like obviously a lot of things have happened. Freely's channel and, you know, persona just exploded. That girl gave me every single piece of information I needed to turn my life around for myself. She never withheld vital information from me so that she could sell me it. And I know that she has done that for so many other people without ever asking for anything or trying to sell them gimmicks that don't work. And for her effort and her generosity and the fact that she was there calling out the people who had been victimizing me and hurting my health for years of my life means everything. Freely, and the information she provided me for free is the reason I am here today. She's the reason that I am able to make videos. She's the reason that I survived my naturopath. And so people may disagree with her style, I may disagree with her style, but you know what? Her platform is now 6 or 7 times bigger than it was before. She is getting this information to more people, and more people like me who were trying to figure out how they were going to live with the bullshit they had been given. Calorically restrictive diets don't work. Low carb diets don't work. they will fuck up your health. And Freely is out there calling out the people who are perpetuating this bullshit. And she's calling out the people who are using this information as a way to make profits while completely disregarding the potential health effects. It was people like Cassie who kept me sick as long as I was. They spout bullshit that doesn't work for them, that won't work for their followers. They promote caloric restriction, which will crash your metabolism, make you gain weight, and ruin your health. And they do it for profit. Do you understand that? Because when they give you an unsustainable diet plan and you fail on it, they can blame it on your willpower and keep you as a customer. And then when someone comes along telling the actual goddamn truth and have the fucking results to back it up, what do? Instead of actually worrying about not just their own health, but about the health of the millions upon millions of their followers, the young girls that don't know any better. What do? They try to silence the person that's telling the truth to protect their profits, not your health. The only thing that Cassie has done by starting all of this copyright bullshit with Freely is proven to her followers that she does not give one shit about them. She cares about her business. She cares about her reputation. She cares about her profits. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about the people like me sitting in my bedroom floor trying to plan my suicide because the diets weren't working. And that kind of despicably selfish behavior is fucking inexcusable. And that's the thing that's getting lost in this whole bullshit thing. Oh, Freely, you're a bully. Like, for fuck's sake, would you step back for 1 second and realize that it's not about you? It's about the young, vulnerable, impressionable, naive kids that are listening to your fucking irresponsible message and taking that shit to heart. Like me, when I was 13 years old, trying to eat your stupid 1,600 calorie a day diet and digging my own fucking grave with it. But it's not about those kids. No, it's about what you look like in your Instagram pictures. It's how many millions you get to roll in next year. If she gives a shit about anyone except her dumb fuck self, she will get a fucking grip, grow up, and act like a real goddamn adult who is capable of recognizing priorities in a situation. Your silly little hurt feelings are not priorities. The millions of girls and women and boys and men who are hurt by your message are the priority. The billions of animals that are tortured and murdered every year so that you can eat them and promote eating them are the priority. And the environmental catastrophe that eating animals is going to produce is so much more important than anything you could ever do. Try taking cute Instagram pictures or doing ineffective Pilates workouts when you're fucking underwater, or when there's not enough food for anybody and we're all starving to death and killing each other to try to get something to eat. That's a real priority. Copyright infringement of your dumb fuck little videos ain't important. I'm sorry, have I gotten verbally abusive? Oops. Freely saved my life. And I know she's done that for a lot of other people. I'm fucking honored to be able to create videos in line with her message. And I am honored to have the role model in my life of a strong woman who fucking gets it, who has her priorities in order, and who knows how to keep doing what she knows to be right despite the hate and despite the bullshit and despite the fact that her message isn't the most popular, but it is the most necessary. And that's what selfish, silly little Cassie doesn't understand. You have a responsibility. Stop acting like you don't. But I support Freely. I trust her fucking judgment. She has proven time and time again that she's in this for the right reasons. And that means something. If you don't understand what she's doing or why she's doing it, take a step back and think about it before you attack her for spreading the message in a more effective way. The world needs all of us working together to effect change on the large general population, and Freely is getting out there and she's doing it. She is succeeding at that. She is bringing the awareness to a wider audience. So stop thinking about what you like, what preferences you prefer, what kind of videos you want to see, because it's not about you anymore. It's about the whole goddamn world. It is about all of these animals that are being murdered for people's selfishness and greed. And that is the most important priority. Freely gets that, and she is doing what she has to do. You don't like the way she's spreading the message? Then do like me and make your own fucking video and make content that you agree with. Be helpful to people who need it. Be helpful to the animals who need it. And be helpful to our planet that is going to self-destruct with us on it. Okay? You guys know where the subscribe button is. I don't have to tell you. I'll see you guys in the comments section below. Make sure to rate this video. Not that your opinion matters. I'm just kidding. I care about your opinion. But not really.